ground shake.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Sypher 2 and I know this video is very late and a lot of people have done this before, but I wanted to do this after the game got updated at least a little bit, so the specialists are kind of in their final state since this game has been updated 6 times already. So the specialists are kind of in their final states right now. They're pretty much balanced. There's no more really overpowered ones and no really underpowered ones. But here today in today's video, like the title and the thumbnail suggests, we are going to be ranking these specialists in a top 10 list since there's only 10 specialists. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to add any more because they would have to do a whole backstory and add to the quote-unquote campaign / specialist HQ tutorial mode kind of thing. And I don't think they want to do that. So these are the 10 specialists we're going to get in the game. Now, right before we get into this video, I'm going to show you guys how I'm ranking these specialists. So first of all, I'm ranking them on what they do best at, which is what their specialist weapons and abilities do best. And then I'm ranking of how those do best in gameplay value. And then I'm also testing how good they are in multiple game modes. So we're not just talking about Blackout. Actually, their specialist abilities are not really in Blackout, but I'm not just talking about Control, Team Deathmatch, Free for All, Search and Destroy, or Domination. We're talking about a whole genre of game modes. Okay, so this is a like all for all, one for one kind of deal of how I'm ranking these specialists. And so that's how we're gonna do the specialist ranking in this video. So if you guys do have a different opinion or want to name your list at the end of this video, please leave in the comments down below. And also tell me what is your favorite specialist in Black Ops 4 so far. But anyway, let's get right into the ranking of the top 10 specialists in Black Ops 4. Here we go.
Hey, you with the fancy haircut. Your call sign is Prophet.
So yes, coming in at number 10 is the one specialist that was a fan favorite in Black Ops 3, but now is probably the worst specialist in Black Ops 4, and I'm going to give you guys my reasons why. So in Black Ops 4, he's given his Tempest, which is from Black Ops 3 as well, but in here, the Tempest is pretty weak. Very weak, actually. It's very, very weak. It takes 2 hits to down somebody unless they're in water, because in water electricity likes to go ham, so it makes sense. But it takes 2 hits to go down to kill somebody, so you have to once to down them, then another shot to kill them. So with that, it kind of sucks. And also all those chain kills that everybody gets that you see every once in a while, it took them probably hours to get that footage because enemies don't group up like that. In all reality, enemies don't group up like that at all in this game, because this game is very fast paced and it's less team based on a lot of the game modes. So they're not going to group up like that. And also people are kind of smarter than they are in Black Ops 3, and also its range of how far it can chain kill somebody is definitely shortened from Black Ops 3's. So that kind of sucks. His Tempest is very well neutered from Black Ops 3. Now let's move on to his ability, which is the little RC car drone thing. So what that does is that when you throw it on the ground, it goes to the nearest player, so it'll lead you to the nearest player, and if you're lucky, it'll shock him in place and you can kill him. It's like a free kill. But the thing is that if he shoots it, it gets destroyed. And also, right when it's launching its thing to shock and hold them, you can hold square, which is a quick time event, and it will be destroyed as well. He can just deny it and then he can kill you. So it's very easy to deny this later on in the game's life. Now of course you'll find that noob every once in a while doesn't know what he's doing, but still, if you're going up against a good team that knows what they're doing, this ability is just out the water. Okay, there is no point of having this ability. It is useless. I mean, I would rather have a grenade or a concussion or a Molotov other than his specialist ability, because it is very unuseful. Sure, it leads to the nearest player, but that can also get you killed if there's more than one there as well. So I mean, either way, his teammates can also protect him while he's in that state, and you stay in that kind of free state for like a good 30 seconds almost. So he does stay there for a while, but if you get killed and there's no friendlies near you, and if there's more than one enemy, well, he's pretty much just there and he just waits and his teammates can cover him, and then he can come back. No problem, done. He can re-heal himself, because I think it does like 10 damage or something like that. And the Tempest is just really not useful as it was in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. So that is my problem with Prophet in this game. Alright, so let's get right on into the next one.
Fully charged, man. Your call sign is battery.
Alright, so coming in at number 9 is, I hate to put this specialist at number 9, and I know a lot of you guys are going to kill me for this, but once you hear my reasoning of why she is at number 9, you will understand why. And the reason why I hate to put her so low on the list, because she was my favorite specialist in Black Ops 3 without a doubt. Like, oh my gosh, I just feel so bad, but coming in at number 9 is Battery. Probably one of the most badass female characters in the Call of Duty history, and is my honestly favorite female character probably in most of all gaming that I can recall off the top of my head, besides a few other female characters. We don't get that many in gaming anymore. Well, in the shooter genre we don't get that many, okay? In other lots of games there's tons of female characters, but in the female genre we don't get a lot of them that are this interesting and that are kind of more like a tomboy style. So it's kind of interesting to see her as a character. But the reason why she's at number 9 and so low on the list is because her specialist weapon, which is the main thing that you get, which is the War Machine, which is the same from Black Ops 3, it's named the same, sucks so bad. I want to say it sucks balls, but I'm not going to say that directly, but I just did anyway. But it stinks. It actually reeks. It reeks like a skunk. I mean, if you've ever used it before, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this gun is neuter from Black Ops 3, because it is. So it fires, it's like an old school grenade launcher. It fires a very large projectile grenade launcher. That's what it is. But in this game, it only shoots one grenade, and it bounces at least twice. It bounces off an object, then it will bounce and explode on that object. So it's very unuseful in wide open areas. Only useful in buildings. Second of all, it's just one, so it's not like the cluster grenade from Black Ops 3 where it launched into 3, so you're guaranteed at least a kill in the wide spam was. So pretty much the only way you can get a kill in this game is by directly impacting a character with it when they're at full health. The other way, you have to at least launch 2 if you're not going to direct impact them. So that's already 2 shots for one guy. You can maybe get lucky and get 2 with 2 shots if you're lucky. 3 shots if you get a good triple kill, but that's very rare in this game. And it just sucks. I mean, it stinks to put this solo on the list, but her main thing is her ability, which is the grenade, which charges the fastest, which is the cluster grenade. That is useful. That can at least kill one enemy guaranteed every time you throw it if you throw it in a good position. So that is the only good part about this character. Everything else though sucks. And even then, the cluster grenade is kind of just a normal grenade that launches little mini baby grenades. So it's okay. It's better than the normal frag. Sure, it's just like a Semtex, so it's not that big of a deal. So her character is just very bare minimum. It's bare minimum. Unless you get a direct impact or if you get a really good cluster grenade location, you're guaranteed not to get a kill with any of her abilities or weapons, but you can get a kill fairly easily. That's why she's not below Prophet, but she's still ranking in at number 9, guys. And I know a lot of you just probably disagreed with me here, but I hope you guys heard me out with that logic. Alright, so let's go get right on into the next one.
Wait, your call sign is Ajax? What are your parents thinking?
Alright, so coming in at number 8 was a very hard one to pick because this is where we get into the pretty good specialists. The last 2 are not so good, but these ones are that everybody's gonna use. So it was kind of hard to rank number 8, and to be honest, I love Ajax because of his shield is amazing. But I also took into account how much is he useful in a lot of the game modes. And I thought to myself, he's only pretty much useful in the game modes that require capturing objectives. If you think about it, really, he's only useful in those situations because of his 9 bang, that's what it's for. His shield, that's also what it's for if you fortify it. So really, he's only useful in those game modes. Of course, he can be useful in team deathmatch and free for all, sure, don't get me wrong. But it's kind of less useful in the situation since everyone is more running around and is not concerned about a congested area. So with that, keeping in mind, I had to give this guy number 8, but I would have definitely want to put him number 7 and number 6, but with that account I had to put him in at number 8. But he is a great specialist. He has an interesting backstory which is amazing, and also he's a well-rounded good character. I think his shield is very good. It has been debuffed, the gun, from when the game first came out, which it definitely needed very badly because it's a little bit too overpowered at times, but now it's decently good. You can pretty much get around them if you know how to get around them, if we have a flamethrower or anything that can go through the shield, but bullets will deflect off of it, which is useful. Also, with his gun being a little bit weakened, it does make it to where you're not going to go on a 10 kill streak with just the gun alone, so you do have to keep that in mind now. And his 9-bang is amazing for the situations when someone is capturing a team is capturing a flag and you want to go in there and rush with your team. Just toss out that 9-bang real quick, kill the enemies, control the area, and get back in the game and win that round or win the game. They can definitely turn around a game with that 9-bang. But yet again, that's only useful for one-time use, so you also have to keep that in mind when to use it, when not to use it, because it's a one-time thing after it's gone off. And it does take time to recharge. So with that in mind as well, he's still coming in at number 8. Pretty good specialist though. If you guys do want it or are playing a team game mode or capture objective game mode, definitely have at least one player in the team running as Ajax. It may be helpful in the end. I don't know, but you can always switch during the lifespan of the game. So let's get right on to the next one, which is actually going to be pretty surprising because they see why.
No joke, man. Your call sign is Nomad.
Alright, so coming in at number 7 is Nomad. And he's actually a pretty good specialist character, so he does lose his hive and his rejack from Black Ops 3, but it does also get replaced with some pretty good stuff that makes sense more towards a Nomad, a character that moves around a lot and is not really centered to one area. So it does make sense. But yet again, his abilities, like the last one, are a little bit less useful. In most game modes, of course. In Team Deathmatch and in a lot of the control-based game modes, they're very well useful. But on game modes like Free-For-All and Search and Destroy, they are pretty much unuseful because you don't get them a lot. And if you do get them, they're only going to last one round. So they're going to get you like maybe 1-2 kills maybe in those game modes. So that is kind of crappy in that sense. But the Mesh Mines is probably his best ability out of the two, which is the dog and his Mesh Mines. The reason why I say the Mesh Mines is because they spawn in a lot quicker and more frequent, so you can definitely get some guaranteed kills with those. But with Juno, I don't know, the dog is kind of a little bit AI'd wrong right now. It has definitely been hella way patched though since the game first came out. When the game first came out, the dog was pretty much useless. Now he's actually pretty good, but you can glitch him out if you get him into water, so that is also a problem they need to fix. But he's also like Ajax, which was the one before this, is very well balanced for most game modes. Just on Free-For-All and Search and Destroy, quick round game-based game modes like that, I don't really see him that useful at all. If at all, but his is definitely more frequent in Team Deathmatch, which is another advantage that Ajax didn't have. Ajax's ability is not that useful for Team Deathmatch unless you're spawn camping a team. This one, Nomad though, very useful in all game modes besides Free-For-All and Search and Destroy, so he does come up a little bit higher on the list because of that one thing that he has, and that one game mode he gets extra credit for. So that's the only reason why though, but him and Ajax are pretty well balanced in the game. They both have their advantages and disadvantages in certain sections, and also Nomad has been updated pretty recently, so that is pretty useful. Alright, so let's get right into the next specialist.
Sound the alarm, man. Your call sign is Firebreak.
Alright, so this is actually a big surprise for me, and should be for you guys if you've played this game since it first came out. Next up on this list is Firebreak, coming in at number 6. Actually, when the game first came out, I was thinking of placing them right below Battery at number 8, because there's only one thing useful about this character, which was the reactor core. The Purifier was completely useless. It would take half of the health and a quarter of its lifespan to kill one enemy. Now it is definitely very similar to the one like in Black Ops 3 where it barely touches somebody and they're dead. This time though, it's not a tap. You need to tap it a little bit longer than you would need in Black Ops 3 because of the extra 50 health, but it's not that much longer. If anything, it's like a half a millisecond, so it's not that bad. It's still less useful than it is in Black Ops 3, yes, but that is kind of considering the time place that it takes right before Black Ops 3. So it does make sense in that sense. So his Purifier is definitely a lot better than it was when the game first came out. So he's definitely moved up 2 places because of that. because of that alone, it makes this specialist a lot more useful in any game mode. In free-for-all, search and destroy, team deathmatch, any control area, you can just completely wipe out a team and capture the objective. Because of that pure fire out thing, now you can pretty much kill anybody now. It's pretty useful now, and not like when the game first came out where you couldn't kill a fly with it. And next, this is reactor core has always been good. The reactor core is very overpowered because it can kill anybody below you or underneath you. It will damage them. The only disadvantage though is that you can only hold it for I think about 3-5 seconds before it starts doing damage to you as well. But it still is very useful, and you can definitely kill an enemy if they're at low health, and you can definitely get the enemies at an even lower health. And if they do manage to kill you while using this ability, or right after you stop using it, they cannot heal themselves for like, I think it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds almost, until they are able to heal themselves. And that's from anything from pure fire to any fire thing in the game. That's how it works. You can't heal yourself because of the fire and of radiation purposes, which makes sense. So that does make sense in a kind of perspective standpoint. So it's pretty cool. It's really useful though, guys. Very great, and he's an all-around fun character to play with, and he's definitely going to be featured in a lot of high kill game modes. So anyway, let's get right next into the number 5 spot.
Your call sign is Sheriff.
Alright, so now we're getting into the top 5, so here we go. Coming in at number 5 is Seraph. Probably one of the most funnest to play with in this game because you get a hand cannon pistol, which is really good. It can go through anything and pretty much guarantee you one-shot kill at any range. So with that in mind, it's very overpowered, but her ability is even way more overpowered, because it's a tactic play, which is the first ever spawn beacon for a team that we've ever had. We've had the tactical insertion, which hasn't even been in the game in multiplayer since Advanced Warfare. It was available in Infection, but that makes sense. But it has been available in multiplayer since Advanced Warfare because it'd be pretty hard in the more advanced movement games, so it does make sense. But now, since we're a boots on the ground gameplay, and also it's actually been in Call of Duty World War II, but it's been added after its lifespan, keep in mind though, so it doesn't count. It's pretty overpowered, and it is for your whole team. If you keep spawning there, your whole team can spawn at that spawn beacon until it gets destroyed or until you spawn somewhere else in the map. Then it will just self-destroy itself. But with that in mind, it is very overpowered. Very overpowered, but yet again, it's also very overpowered for boosters as well. But yet again, it pretty much one bullet can destroy it, so you would have to move away before they can kill you. So keep that in mind. But yet again, it's still very good. It's very useful in this like control or domination, because you can have your team keep spawning at B. If the enemy team keeps trying to capture it, you can keep spawning your B and keep that B flag captured. Very useful. And also in control, you can get your team faster into control zone if it's a choke point. So with that in mind, it's very good. In team deathmatch, it is very useful. In free-for-all, you can set your spawn point always at a very dull point of the map, so you're not spawning in randomly and getting killed instantly. And then search and destroy is where it gets less useful, so that's why she's not above like number 4, number 3. That's why. But she is a lot better than Firebreak, since her abilities are more useful to the team and not more or less for just the player's sake. But let's get right into the number 4 spot, because this video is getting kind of long.
Hey man, your call sign is Ruin.
Coming in at number 4 is Ruin, the most overpowered specialist in the game at killing enemies. The grapple gun, overpowered. It's the only fast moving character in the game and only fast movement in the game. So with that in mind, it makes it overpowered. And I mean, it charges up really quickly, so it's almost pretty much instantaneously available, so that's pretty simple, self-explanatory. And then the gravity slam is just like the gravity spikes, just one thing, and takes a little bit longer to deploy than the gravity spikes, but it's still killable like the gravity spikes, of course. But now you're saying, well, Sypher, I thought you were basing these on gameplay value and team-based characters. Yes, I am, but guess what? Ruin is all of the above. He kills enemies. He could definitely make the enemy team all dead at a flag in any control-based game mode. Very useful in free-for-all. Very useful character in search and destroy for killing enemies. And I mean, in free-for-all, I mean, this is just overpowered. just overpowered in free-for-all. I mean, if somebody's running Ruin, you might as well just give up. If you're running any other specialist, pretty much, you're just get dead. Ruin is the most overpowered specialist in the game for killing things, next to Firebreak. But yet again, Firebreak ain't useful for a lot of these game modes. Ruin is useful for everything, because his ability is charged so fast compared to the other specialists that he is pretty much useful for anything. For free-for-all, for search and destroy, team deathmatch, control, heist, domination. He's useful for all of the above because his abilities charge so quick. His gravity slam takes pretty decent amount of time to charge, but isn't as slow as other ones. Very fast. His grapple gun is almost instantaneously available after you've just used it. Get like 1 or 2 kills and it's available. There you go. You can pretty much get it at the start of the match pretty much. So it's very useful. And also, with all this in mind, keep in mind he can move a lot faster than the rest of your teammates, so he can definitely capture a point by himself if he's smart. So he's pretty much available all around for everything. So most overpowered specialist in the game deserves the number 4 spot. So now let's get into the top 3.
Your call sign is Torque.
Alright, so now we're down to the enemies that don't cause immediate death to players. So these are more team-based specialists, which, like I said at the beginning, we're going to be the most highly ranked specialists because they're the most useful. And now you're wondering, why Twerk? Well, if you've ever played up against a really good Twerk player who knows how to use Twerk effectively, you've probably gotten killed multiple times because Twerk can block off so many doorways, so many entrances, that it's ridiculous. He can block off a whole section of the map because of one tripwire. Like, he can block your whole access to that one area to flank through, that you have to go through the death trap that his teammates are setting up. Down with that, it's simple. And with his barricade, it's pretty useful as well, unless someone's using Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, it's pretty hard to kill this guy. I mean, this guy is pretty much overpowered. You can block off doorways, you can block off parts of the map, you can hide them so well that it only affects them when they run by or they can't see it and they have to go through it. It's so useful. But yet again, I also had to keep in mind how useful this is on free-for-all. So this is why he's not higher. But yet again, on free-for-all, it's still kind of useful because then you can kind of see where an enemy is in the area and you get, oh, okay, there's definitely an enemy there, go kill him. Run away, hide away again, and go back and kill him. So pretty useful in free-for-all. Also, his abilities charge up pretty quickly. Not as fast as other ones like Ruin. His charge up very fast, but Twerk has a pretty good decent speed of how fast they charge. Recharge back up. So that's also very good. So Twerk is a well-balanced character, but it does take a really good Twerk player to effectively use Twerk, so that's why he's not number 2 or number 1. Alright, so now let's get into the top 2.
Hey man, Crash is not just your call sign, it's an attitude.
Alright, so the top 2 were pretty hard to rank, but I finally figured it out. And coming in at number 2 is honestly my next favorite specialist in the game and is my skin for Blackout, Crash. Now he's the most interesting and really unique character because we never had a character where a teammate can throw down ammo and give health to everybody on the team. That is definitely new to Call of Duty and it's very similar to Battlefield. So that is very interesting, but it's pretty good. I mean, his character is funny. He has a very great backstory if you read it and also if you watch the video. And it's kind of funny. He trained to be a veterinarian and now he's an overpowered medic on the battlefield. So I mean, that is pretty cool if you ask me. That's freaking awesome. I mean, props to him, man. But yeah, it was pretty hard, but because this guy gives health and ammo to the team, which is very useful, but like I said, it's only useful for that instant of that, so I had to take that in mind. It's only useful for that moment in time, and if you do die, you lose it. You lose the assault pack bonus. You also lose your extra health, 50 bonus health as well, because you're dead. So it's simple as that. And if you have, and on free-for-all and on search and destroy, I mean, it kind of is useful, but less for all on free-for-all. I mean, you're giving yourself extra health and more ammo, so I guess it could be necessary in that moment if you don't have a scavenger, if you want to run like more attachments on your weapon or something, or if you don't have, and if you want to get that quick heal or that extra 50 bonus health before going into a room or a very highly active area, it could be useful. But I had to place him at number 2 just because of that simple reason alone. And you guys can probably guess who's at number 1, but let's get right into the number 1 spot. Here we go.
Recon. Yeah, man. That's your call sign.
Alright, so like I said, the first and second place were hard to pick, but I finally came to myself and picked Recon as number 1. Now you guys are asking me, why? Why is he number 1? Well, first of all, his ability, which is the sensor dart, is very overpowered. It's probably the next fastest recharging ability in the game. So he's always dropping intel for his teammates, which is a lot more useful to know where enemies are, so you can at least get the jump in on them before they take away your health. So that is also kind of what Crash does by giving you that extra 50 health. But also that in mind, it also sees enemies that come into that area, and if you place where enemies can't see it or very well hidden, well, they can't destroy it, and that area is kind of like a mini pocket UAV for a pretty good decent amount of time. It lets the enemy know where they're hiding at in corners, which is very useful in free-for-all, search and destroy, team deathmatch, and in any control-based game mode, because you can see where the enemy's hiding and see where they're coming from. You can definitely use it in all those game modes. So that makes it easily for the number 1 spot. Next is his Vision Pulse, which is more overpowered than the one in Black Ops 3 because everybody in your team can see the enemies highlighted on your screen, which is amazing. I mean, like, dear Jesus, that is overpowered, and I mean it is. I mean, it's giving the enemies it's giving your teammates a direct way they're looking, the direct body shapes, and everything through walls, through anything. So that's overpowered, and well, with all those abilities combined and where you can get the drop in on them and not lose any health or even very minimal health at that, it's very useful for every game mode, for yourself on free-for-all, for search and destroy, especially on search and destroy if there's the last enemy or a couple enemies and you're the last person alive. It's definitely very useful in team deathmatch, control, domination, heist, kill confirmed. Everything this character is all well balanced for. It is crazy. It is amazing though that this specialist is pretty cool. He's also very interesting. Doesn't have that great of a backstory, but I mean it is still pretty interesting to him as a character. But anyway, let's get right to the outro. Alright, so I just want to get the little gameplay footage of my most favorite thing in the Specials HQ, where you get to fight zombies in the tutorial mode, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's fun. But anyway, before the video ends, I want to thank you guys for clicking on this video. I know it's pretty late, but I want to get all the specialists at least updated a little bit before we name all their ranks, because I know a lot of people put Firebreak very low on the list. So, but yeah, I think this is the most well-balanced list. If you guys have a different opinion than me, or if you have a different view, let me know in the comments below. Also rank the specials in the top 10 yourself and see how hard it is past 7 maybe even. It's pretty hard. But anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I would like to give a big shout out to Mark. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, man. I'm sorry, but it's Mark T. He is a very pretty useful character in gaming because he gives the soundtracks out of the games for Call of Duty. So thank you, man. Just want to give a shout out to him. Guys, go subscribe to his channel. He's pretty cool. He releases all of the soundtracks, I think from all the way up from World at War to Black Ops 3. So I mean, pretty cool, right? Those are some amazing soundtracks, by the way. I have some of the soundtracks myself because, well, I have to. It's what makes my life go around and what makes my YouTube channel a thing. All the background music in this video is all Black Ops soundtracks. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I know this video is pretty long, but I just want to give my simple explanations to it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.